Hi, and welcome to the next module in our series of modules in the course of Understanding Cognitive Processes Linking the G's. The next G that we're going to talk about is called Fluid Reasoning, or GF. GF is the ability to reason, form concepts, and solve problems that often contain new information. Take a look at this picture of a friend of mine's son, not even 2 years old, and was able to problem solve. This little guy was able to effectively figure out a way to access a preferred item on a shelf in the pantry that he obviously couldn't reach. You don't need formal standardized assessment to know that this little guy has average to above average cognitive ability in the area of GF, or fluid reasoning. This is an absolutely brilliant demonstration of fluid reasoning. If you're a parent of a young child, you have probably firsthand witnessed your own children demonstrate GF, or problem solving. And probably you thought, wow, they're smarter than me. How am I going to keep up? Here's another example of GF, or problem solving. This little guy wants to get off this bed, but he's probably from experience fallen off, and he's trying to figure out a way to get off the bed safely. I just love this. Makes me wonder how many times he fell off the bed and bonked his head before he attempted to find a safer way to do it. How old do you think this little guy is? I'm gonna guess 15 months, 18 months maybe? Probably not 2. I don't think so. All right, he's out of pillows. Do you think he can do it? Yay! Mission accomplished. So what areas of GF, or fluid reasoning, could potentially impact the classroom? Well, fluid reasoning is directly linked to reading comprehension, math problem solving, and written expression. For these two little guys that you just saw, obviously they each have average to above average fluid reasoning. So it's highly likely that when they become school age, that they will excel in reading comprehension, math problem solving, and written expression. However, on the other hand, if fluid reasoning is an area of deficit, then the student is likely going to struggle in these 3 academic areas. You should have been introduced to this tool in the previous module. However, I wanted to show it to you again. You can access this tool from the last module, and what I want you to do is have this printed out for each of your students. This particular tool is going to show you how to link that cognitive ability to classroom performance. So in the first column, the G that we're talking about in this module is GF, or fluid reasoning, which is basically problem solving. And it defines it for you here. It's the ability to reason, form concepts, solve problems that often contain new information. What you need to do is get a copy of one of your students' full individual evaluation. And with the help of the diagnostician, you can find their GF, or problem solving fluid reasoning score. I want you to mark that score here. If that score is above 85, then that is an area of strength. So those two little guys, I don't need formal standardized assessment to tell me that they have average to above average cognitive ability. If the score for your student is below 84 or below, then that would be considered an area of weakness. The next column talks about what is the relationship between GF and academics in the classroom. Well, we already know from the previous slide that it's going to impact reading comprehension, math reasoning, which is math problem solving like word problems, and written expression. The educational implications indicate that there is a significant relationship to your ability to problem solve, to higher level thinking skills in reading, writing, and math, to draw inferences, to have mental flexibility, to transfer and generalize information from one setting to the next, to pull information, analyze it, manipulate it, and to think conceptually. This column is going to talk to you about possible interventions that you could do in the classroom if this is an area of deficit. It indicates that some of the interventions you could do is teach problem-solving strategies, provide overlearning, repetition, review concepts, use real objects and manipulatives, teach strategies to increase understanding and retention of concepts like self-talk, visual imagery, listing out your steps, encourage creativity, that's that mental flexibility with coming up with different potential solutions to different scenarios, teach problem-solving techniques explicitly within context so that the students can see how they could apply in real-world situations. The next column are the possible accommodations that you could implement if a student has a deficit in GF or problem solving. Provide peer assistance or a cooperative learning group, a how-to guide with step-by-step directions, a timeline of events, a flowchart or a process map so students can see this is first, second, then, next, last, math charts or mnemonic devices that will help with memory triggers, graphic organizers like a T-chart, a Venn diagram, or a web, hands-on activities versus a worksheet, manipulatives, multiple examples and non-examples. The next column gives you an example of what those would look like in the classroom. Use teacher demonstrations with a think aloud procedure followed by guided practice with feedback. And then the final column is an area where you can take notes. The other tool that you're going to find as part of this course in one of the later modules is this one called A Closer Look at the G's, Our Caseload. And this is basically a worksheet for you to complete for each of the students that you case manage. After today's module, you should be able to fill in the score for this particular student in the area of GF. In the previous module, you should already have the information here for GC. Then in the box below, or you can indicate some of the educational implications, accommodations, some of the techniques that you can implement in the classroom to help this student be more successful. To summarize, fluid reasoning is also referred to as problem solving. It's the GF of the cognitive processes. Fluid reasoning is directly linked to academic success in reading comprehension, math problem solving, and written expression. If the student has a high score, average to above average in fluid reasoning, then they're likely to do well in these academic areas. If the student's GF is below average, 84 or lower, then it's highly likely that they are going to struggle in reading comprehension, math problem solving, and written expression. Again, GF or problem solving is the ability to reason, form concepts, solve problems that often involve unfamiliar information or procedure. Possible educational implications are having difficulty drawing inferences, solving abstract problems, creating solutions to problems, transferring and generalizing information, solving unique problems, transforming and extending a product or concept. Thinking conceptually is going to be difficult, and problem solving through rule application. Recommendations are to teach problem solving strategies, provide overlearning, repetition, review of concepts, use real objects and manipulatives to develop concepts, teach strategies to increase understanding and retention of concepts like self-talk, list of procedures or steps, those Venn diagrams of visual imagery, those kinds of things, the mnemonic devices. Encourage creativity, that's that flexible thinking. There's different ways to go about solving a problem. Teach problem-solving techniques in the context in which they are most likely to be applied. That's that real-life application. Solve novel problems by using reasoning abilities. That concludes today's module on fluid reasoning, or GF. Thank you for participating.